All right, so let's go ahead and work out the answer key to your homework worksheet. Okay, so first notice the directions. It says your answer should contain only positive exponents. It means I'm going to leave my answer in exponent form, but with only positive exponents. Keep in mind that your exponent rules say that anything with the same base, okay, so in this particular case, my base is 2, that you can use your exponents for. Okay, 2 to the 0 is 1. This is 2 to the first, 2 cubed, 2 to the 0. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that out and make it a 1. 2 to the first times 2 cubed is 2 to the fourth. Now, 1 to the negative 3 power. 1 to any power is just 1. Okay, so 1 for any power is equal to 1. Okay, so we have 1 over 2 to the fourth, and that's a positive exponent, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this, which would be equivalent to 1 over 16. Okay, number 2. Okay, exponent rules. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, in this particular case, this is subtract 4 and subtract 3 for the division. 6 minus 4, 2. 2 to the negative 1, only positive exponents. 1 over 2 to the first. Okay. 2 cubed cubed. Okay, my exponent rule says that I multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. 2 to the fourth, which is equivalent to 16. Okay, exponent rules. Now I have a couple of things I can do because I see negative exponents, but I know that my denominator, negative 1 plus negative 4. Okay, so I'm starting inside the parentheses. Here, negative times negative is positive. 2 squared, 2 to the 10th, then I subtract. 2 to the negative 8, but no negative exponents. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. 2 to the 0 is 1. Okay, let's do this a slightly different way. Let's take care of this negative exponent on the outside first. Okay, if I want this, what happens is you get this. Okay, now I'm going to distribute, so we get 2 to the fourth times 2 to the negative 8, and I add, I get 2 to the negative 4, 4 plus negative 8, no negative exponents, 1 over 2 to the fourth. Okay, next, 2 squared, 2 cubed, 2 to the negative 8. Okay, so this has to come up. 2 plus 3. Now this is minus 8, right? Subtract because the division turns into plus 5, 13. 2 to the 13. Okay. 2 to the 0 is 1. 1 squared, still 1. Power to a power says multiply. Okay, so 1 squared is still 1. 2 cubed, okay, which is negative 13. Right, 2 to the negative 13. No negative exponents, so 1 over 2 to the 13th. Okay, so let's start on the inside here. Negative 4, so multiply means add, divide means subtract. So we actually get 2 to the negative 12. Okay, I'm going to distribute here first, negative 24. Then I'm going to go no negative exponents. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so let's start on the inside here and see what we can do. 2 to the negative 3. So let's deal with this part. Negative 4 times negative 2 is 2 to the positive 8. Okay, I still have the grouping symbol here. So let's go ahead and rewrite this. I'm going to rewrite it like this to show you a different exponent rule. Okay, notice that the 2 squared didn't move. The only thing I'm looking at is this grouping right here. The negative power is going to turn to a positive power. Right? And let's distribute. Negative 12, 32. Okay, let's see what we can do here. This gives me 2 to the negative 10, right? Add the exponent, so negative 10 plus 32 is positive 22. Okay, anything to a 0 power is 1. Okay, we have 2 to the 4th, 2 to the negative 3. Subtract. Minus minus 3 turns into plus 2 to the 7th. All right, now we're starting to get a couple extra letters here. All right, let's see if this negative exponent here. Okay, I'm going to move. This whole grouping is going to come here. N to the 4th, P to the negative 1. Nothing else. Okay, so I see this negative exponent, so that's going to move. Okay, now the only other negative exponent I see is this one right here. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and distribute this 2 out here. Let's go ahead and combine this. Okay, now I'm going to move this negative exponent. Okay, and the 8th, and I notice that these two things can combine. Okay, let's look at number 12. Okay, that's a 0, so that's 1. I see a square and 2 negatives. These negatives have nothing surrounding them, so I'm going to go ahead and move those first. 2, notice, is not attached to the x cubed. Okay, z squared. Okay, x, y cubed, z cubed. So I've rearranged everything outside of the grouping. Now I'm going to deal with this square power. And I'm going to distribute. Okay, now I'm going to combine. Everything with the same base gets combined. So I have x, x, x. Okay, then I have y, y. Okay, and then I have z, z, z. All right, so the 2 stays. Okay, so the numerator, we have x to the 5th over x to the 1st, so that's x to the 4th. Okay, y cubed and y cubed reduces. Right, so we're at y0, so I don't have to write it. And we've got z cubed, z squared. So that gives me z to the 1st. Negative 1 plus negative 8 is z negative 7. Puts me here. Now I didn't see my number the first time, right? So 2 times 4 is actually 8. So instead of a 2, we should have an 8. So 8x to the 4th, z to the 7th. Okay, let's look at the next 2. Okay, so I see a bunch of negative exponents. Let's go ahead and see what we can rewrite. Okay. Let's see. We have P, P, b. See if we can do all those at the same time. 3 plus negative 3 is 0. Minus minus 4 is p to the 4th. Okay, let's look at our q's. I see q to the 1st, q to the 1st reduces to q to the 0. Okay, and m to the 4th. Keep in mind we still have a cube out here, and so this gives us p to the 12th, m to the 12th. All right, 14. This whole quantity is going to reduce to 1 because of the exponent of 0. I see two negatives, so I'm going to move them first. X squared, y cubed, z squared. Okay, 2yx squared, z to the 1st. Now I'm looking for my same bases to combine. Okay, I see z and z and x and x. Y cubed divided by y is y squared. Z cubed 2x to the 4th. Okay. I see negative, 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 negative. I'm going to go ahead and move these top two and then move the grouping before I start any more work. Okay. 2y cubed stays, x to the 1st, z to the 4th. And move this whole parentheses. 2x, negative 4, y cubed, z squared to the 1st. Okay. Now I'm going to distribute. Okay, so the 1 power doesn't change anything. So we get 2y cubed, 2x negative 4, y cubed, z squared, x1, z to the 4th. Now I look to combine. Okay, so y and y, x, x, z, z. Then I get 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, y to the 6th. All right, negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. So I'm going to place that in the denominator for the correct location. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Correct location is in the denominator. All right, let's look at the next one. I see 2 negative exponents, 3 negative exponents, and 1 grouping. So I'm going to move the items first. Okay. Okay. And then the y goes to the numerator. Now I'm going to distribute. Okay. X squared, z 4th. Okay, multiply, power to power. 9, 9, 12. Okay, and combine. I see x, 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 right? Z, z, and y, y. Okay, location. 1 and 9 gives me y to the 8th in the denominator. 2 and 9 is 11, is 13. 4 and 12 is 16. Now, you don't put a 0 in the numerator, you put a 1. Okay. 1, 2, oh, this whole thing is 1, so I see 3 negative exponents. Let's deal with those first. I want to change, okay, well, you can do lowercase. B cubed, oh, that's a 1. B stays, a to the 4th, c cubed, okay, 2, b cubed, c to the 4th. Okay, combine our same bases. A, B, 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 C, C. Okay, the number is here. Okay, so the 2. a to the fourth cancels out. That's a to the 0. Okay, so we have b to the 6th in the bottom, b to the 1st in the top. So that's going to be 1 minus 6 is negative 5. So in the denominator, 3 plus 4. And it turns out we have a 1 in the numerator. Okay, so the next one. I see 1, 2, 3 negative exponents. So I'm going to deal with, and a 1. Okay, let's move this. Okay, and then let's move the whole grouping. Okay, now I'm going to distribute. Okay, 2 cubed is 8. Y cubed, notice both the number and the variable are cubed. Z to the negative 6. All right, so now let's see if we can't combine. Keep in mind this is negative, so we might have to move it. Y, Z, Z, X. Okay, so the 8 stays. Okay, so the denominator has y to the 7th, y squared. That leaves me with y to the 5th. Okay, 3 plus negative 6 is negative 3. All right, switch the location because it was in the denominator to the numerator. X squared stays. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 negative exponents. Okay, so let's go ahead and move these first. So m to the 4th, p to the 4th, 2q, m to the 4th, p squared. Okay, now let's deal with this grouping here. 2 cubed is 8, negative 3, negative 9. Q times 2 times q, m to the 4th, p squared. Oh, no, let's not forget that. Okay, and let's see what we can do. All right, I have m, okay, I have 3 m's, p, and I've got q. Okay, 8 divided by 2, so I'm going to leave those for just a second. Okay, negative 3 plus 4. Actually, let's look at this. M4 reduces, so that leaves me m cubed in the denominator. P. Okay, this reduces to p squared in the numerator, which gives me p negative 7. So let's move that. This gives me q squared. Now, 8 divided by 2 is 4 over 1. So we get 4 m cubed, p to the 7th, q squared. Okay. Next one. Okay, so I have this power out here. I see z to the 0 is 1. Okay. Let's move the negatives. Okay. So this whole grouping is going to move. All right. See what we can do with this. 3 times 3, power to a power. 2 times 3. Okay, and combine. We've got y, x, z. Okay, 2 times 4 is 8. x to the 10th over x, so that's x to the 9th, y to the 10th, z to the 1st in the denominator.